Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, Shlomo is here. Very good. Very good. All right, Freila Chevre. With the help of Hashem, we are learning Shabbos DAF Kuf Tes. We began the sugya of the isur of making salt water on Shabbos, according to the Tanach Rabbi Yossi. It's a derabanan dike ibud oiros, being that when you would tan hides, one of the steps would be by preparing salt water and then putting those hides in them. So you cannot make salt water on Shabbos, midrabanan ibud oiros, nor can you actually pickle foods, also connected, aside of a potential bishul issue. Pickling foods themselves is also connected to a derabanan dika ibud oiros. I'm saying derabanan because mida oiraisa ein ibud ba'oichalim. We're going to go and learn about whether a person is allowed to wash themselves in Yam HaMelech. Chevra, believe it or not, in the times of Chazal, washing your eyes with the Yam HaMelech waters was therapeutic. Just the salt in your eyes, melach sodoimis, can make you blind. But if the salt is still in the water, that had some sort of therapeutical benefit. And from that, we're going to go into the sugya of, this is the heart of the sugya here in Shabbos, and Daf Kuf Tes, Daf Kuf Yud, the isur midrabanan of a person taking medication. And there's a few aspects of it. First of all, that I myself, God forbid, might grind the herbs to make medication. Shchika samemanim. There's also a maras ayin dika aspect, that even if I'm doing something for myself, which is okay, I know that what I'm doing may not be prepared on Shabbos. I myself prepared these medications before Shabbos, but if you're going to see me taking it, you will think that I'm allowed to grind the herbs on Shabbos. There's a big aspect of marasayin when it comes to the Rabbanan Dika prohibition of taking medications. And therefore, as the sugya will be learned properly, God willing, if there's something that I'm consuming that even healthy people consume, so the observer won't even think that I'm doing it for therapeutical purposes, that's a much lesser of a problem. As well as we'll be learning, if I'm taking something that doesn't work, if I'm taking a medication that doesn't work, there's also a lesser of an issue, as we'll go through the sugya. Because anyways, it's not medication. It's arbeit nicht. We're going to learn about the ruach ra'ah, the evil spirit known as, we have a name, bas melach, that resides on a person's hands after they sleep for 30 minutes or more. So generally, that resides on our hands when we wake up in the morning. And that ruach ra'ah only leaves one's hands when you wash negel vaser. As we wash negel vaser, that means we have to alternate hand to hand, a total of 6 washings, 3 on each hand. If a person did not wash negel vaser, and they touched, as we'll be learning, either some of their body parts or foods, then this ruach ra'ah goes into it, and we're going to be learning the remedies, what one should take if a person was affected health-wise because of this ruach ra'ah. We're going to be learning on Daf Kuf Tes a gewaldige detail in Hilchas Mikvahos. Generally, we know that there's a mikvah and there's a mayon. A mikvah is rain water that is gathered in one area, and there are many rules regarding mikvah. Then there's something called a mayon, which is natural spring waters. For one example, a mikvah has to be ashboiden, it has to be gathered, it has to be stationary. If mikvah waters are zoichalin, if it's traveling, if it's leaking, if it's moving, then it's not kosher. A mayon, by default, a mayon is a spring water. A mayon could be zoichalin. Now, according to most Tanoim, Whenever the Torah speaks about the need of using mayim chayim, l'mashal, a zav is only going to be pure if he goes into a mayim chayim, or a metzoida has to enter mayim chayim, or when you prepare the mechatos, you have to use waters that are called mayim chayim. Normally we associate a mayon is mayim chayim. It's living, it's moving, it's coming out of the ground continuously. And a gathering of rainwater is not mayim chayim. We're going to learn today a shita of Rabbi Yossi that says that something could be called mayon, and still it's not going to be categorized as mayim chayim, gavaldik, as we will learn the sugya. We're going to learn many remedies if a person drinks waters that were left uncovered. And in the times of Chazal, there was a physical fear that a physical snake might come and drink from the waters and deposit venom in there. So what happens if a person drinks such waters? The remedy to that. And Bachlal, here in the intro, and as we'll learn the sugya, it's important to repeat the chedem hakadmoinim, that we are not allowed to practice all of the remedies that Chazal speak about. There are a few reasons for that. Firstly is that we are afraid that we ourselves didn't fully understand their ingredients, or even if we understood their ingredients, we might not use the right quantity of it, and therefore the medication is not going to work. And if a person is going to experience that what Chazal said didn't work, it might give them a doubt regarding everything else that Chazal said. That's one reason. There's another concept that we keep on quoting at Tosfos and Moed Katan Daf Yud Aleph that introduces the idea of nishtano hativim, and it could be that either the human body changed over time or that the remedies changed. That's, the herb changed, and therefore it might not work. Having said all that, al pi Chasidus, Torah is nitzchi, and even though that during Golus there's the possibility for the physical world not to fully mirror its ruchnius dika counterpart, but all of these remedies work forever in the ruchnius dika world. And therefore, when we say kol haloim toiras oila ki'ilu hikruv oila, that is something that we certainly have when we learn the medications of Chazal. That learning about it, we're not allowed to practice it, but learning about it without doubt will bring about a remedy. And indeed, as we are still in the days of Corona, may the learning of medications and remedies and healings bring about the refuah shalema to all those that need it. Good.
Amen.
I hope that between today and tomorrow we'll catch up. At least we are on Daf Kuf Ches Amud Beis. We are 13 lines from the top of the Amid. Oy Gewalt, right by the two dots. Azin, Sunoim, Esrog, Simin. And these are going to be all statements that are going to be taught by the Tana Rabbi Yehuda Bar Chaviva. So says the Gemara, Tani Rabbi Yehuda Bar Chaviva. He gives another detail. This Isur D'Rabbanan of not making salt waters on Shabbos is only if you're making strong salt waters. You're making strong brine. The Gemara now has to clarify. Okay, at least we have a certain, we have what to work with. My may melach ma'azin. So Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Dominit Arvayu. It means koil shahabeitzot safa bahem, that the salt water is so dense that it's denser than an egg. So when you put an egg on top of it, the egg floats on the top. Guys, this is the link of how we get to here to Yam HaMelech, which is also such salty waters that people float on top. But here we're speaking about all the hemshech of the Isur D'Rabbanan of making salt water on Shabbos. Now, shkoyach, how much salt do you have to put into the water for it to be so dense that an egg floats on top? V'kama, Amar Abaya, today, Tilsa Milcha. It's when 2/3 are salt and only 1/3 is maya, that's when it's considered halachically salty waters, which you may not make on Shabbos. And lamay of the law, they would make such salty waters. Lemur yasa, if a person wanted to pickle fish, again, the salt waters in the Mishnah, it was made for pickling. And again, you're not allowed to make the waters, and nor are you allowed to put the fish in it. Both of them are connected to this D'Rabbanan Dike Isur of Ibudoides. Now that we quoted Rabbi Yehuda Bar Chaviva, we're going to quote another learning. So Tani Rabbi Yehuda Bar Chaviva, Ein Melchan Senoinu Beitza B'Shabbos. Very clear. This is becoming clear. It's not only an Isur to make the salt waters. You may not actually salt. Listen, you can't salt neither a radish nor an egg on Shabbos. Amazing. This is not connected to tikkun maneh. This is connected to ibud oiris midrabanan. However, not everyone agrees with this Tana. However, Rav Chizki Meshmei Dabaya Amar, no. Tzunoin, I agree. Tzunoin, you're not allowed to strongly salt a tzunoin on Shabbos. But an egg, he holds that an egg is not improved when it's going to be tremendously salted. And the whole issue of salting a food, midrabanan, if it's very salted, you're starting to pickle it, it's only if it's improving it. An egg doesn't get improved. Says the Gemara, initially, I held that you are even allowed to salt a radish. Why did I hold so? Based on this concept that the isur of midrabanan ibudoiris on foods is only if it improves the food, I held that afsuda mafsidno lei, that salting a radish spoils it. Why? Because Shmuel pulga churfei mali. Shmuel says, then if Shmuel was not a big doctor, that when the radish is sharp, that's a benefit. That's something good in the radish. And when you salt it, you take away that sharpness. So therefore, I'm not making it better, and therefore it's going to be permitted. However, even the Shemana Amar, since I heard that when Ula came from Israel, he shared that in Eretz Yisrael b'Marava Malchi Bisra Kishrei. Malchi Kishrei, right? They would salt heaps and heaps of radishes because they felt that there is a upgrade to the radish if it's salted. If it makes it better. So now I changed, and indeed, mimlach loy molachna. I would not sprinkle salt on the radishes, but tabule vade metablena, but I would dip them into salt. So what is that? So another nuance. Okay, moida. First of all, when is salting or pickling a food asur if it makes it better? Number two, it's only asur if it looks like you are doing ibudoiris. When people would salt hides, or when they would tan hides, they would tan a whole hide. They wouldn't tan a little bit of a hide. So if you're eating, for example, one radish and you're salting it, no problem. There's no derabanan over here. Even it doesn't look like ibudoiris. It's completely dissimilar. It's only when you are salting a lot of them. Rashi says 3 or 4 of them. So b'meila, he says to sprinkle salt on top of a food. When you sprinkle salt on top of a food, it's very difficult for you to direct it only on one radish. It's going to get more than one. It's going to get a few. That's going to be asim midrabanan. But dipping something into salt is never going to be a problem, because then you're only doing one at a time. Even if it's going to upgrade the food, since it's only one at a time, it has no resemblance to tanning, therefore it will be permitted. This is an interesting insight. I'm making a very vague link of, there's reasons why al pi Kabbalah we don't sprinkle the salt on the challah, but we put the challah in the salt. Because since really the shulchan is daimel the mizbeach, and when everything on the mizbeach was salted, the way things were salted is that there were heaps of salt on the ramp, and the meat was dipped into the salt. So we dipped the challah into the salt. But here we're learning another din, interesting din, that even when there is a derabanan problem of salting foods on Shabbos, salting, because it's a derabanan deki ibudoiros, it's only if you do a lot of it at a time. And the moment you dip the food in it, then you're limiting the salting, and that's going to be permitted. Now, third statement, Tanei Rabbi Yehuda bar Chaviva, when it comes to an esrog and to a tzunoin, to a radish, and to a beitz and to an egg, if not for the outer klipas, so an esrog, it's a peel. By the radish, we'll call it taka klipa. By an egg, what's the outer klipa? Not the hard shell, but the white of the egg. If not for them, they would never leave the stomach. Now we know, for example, now medicinally, the bad cholesterol of an egg is coming from the yellow. Interesting. So they have the klipa, upgrades it, makes it better. Once we're learning about the sugya, how salting makes things better, sometimes in nature, the klipa itself makes it better. While salt al pi Kabbalah represents guilt, and guilt normally is not a healthy thing. It's a little bit, too much of it is very bad. The guilt of Lot's wife, she looked back, looking back, and oy gavalt, I made a mistake yesterday. To many people, too much of that is not going to allow you to go forward. But a little bit is good. And that's exactly what we're learning. A lot of salt is bad. But a little bit, I guilt is a negative feeling. No, the right amount is okay. Salting a little bit is okay. Same concept. Salting a lot is not okay on Shabbos. Okay. So the first Tanach of Yehuda Bar Chaviva was he limited the issur of making salt water. It's making strong salt waters. How much? So much salt that the egg floats on top. So now this is the link. When Abdimi came from Eretz Yisrael, he told us here in Babel that no one ever drowned in Sodom. As a statement. So Amar Rabbi Yosef, I needed the Abdimi to tell me that. Just like Hafucha Sodom, just like Sodom was turned upside down, and that's taka the area of the Yam HaMelech, the Hafucha Mila, Rabdimi's statement is also upside down meaning it was not needed. But he's implying that only a person doesn't drown. What? But anything other will drown. But Keshura Tava, but a plank will wood drown. What did he mean by saying that a person never drowned? So Amalei Abaya, no. Loimi Bayi Ka'amar, Loimi Bayi Keshura, Dafilu B'chol Meimer Sheba Elam L'Tav. That's the nature of wood. Wood floats, right? Ships are made out of wood. Elafilu, a person, the Tava B'chol Meimer Sheba Elam, just to listen, he came to say that the Yama the Sudaim L'Tav. Now, why would he make that statement? It's amazing to follow the whole link. So we're learning a issur of making brine, salt, the Yam HaMelech. Why did he make that statement? Now we're coming into healing. That's the opening into healing. That since Kiyasa Ravin came and he told us that have a shakel that I was once walking behind Rabbi Yirmiyah. Aguda the Yam Sodom, right on the shore of Yam, what we call Yam HaMelech, and Amarlei. And Ravin asked Rabbi Yirmiyah, may a person wash himself with these waters on Shabbos? Why would you wash yourself with these waters? Again, the times of Chazal, even though the salt, when it's not mixed with water, would make you blind, right? The mayim achroinim is because of Melech Sodoimis. But when you take the waters of the Yam HaMelech, the waters, and it washes into your eyes, it healed your eyes. Please don't try that. Remember the Chedem HaKadmonim. But then it had a therapeutical value. And what's the issue? We know that midrabanan, we may not do something that is taking medicine on Shabbos because gezerah shchikas samamanim. Either I will make it or other people will think that you're allowed to do it and they will make it. So can I use the therapy? So Amalei. So Rabbi Yirmiyah tells Ravin, Shaper Dami, yeah, you are allowed to do it. Why are you allowed to do it? Rashi, Shaper Dami, the lav muchacha milsa del refuah of it. This will be a very key line in this whole sugya. Some of the issur of taking medicines of Shabbos is connected to what it appears like. Here, the observer won't think that you're doing a dafka to heal your eyes. Afalpi that indeed should happen, even though that it does heal your eyes. Still shari, because the tama the refuah dasira lesa. The reason why you may not do therapies on Shabbos doesn't exist here. The reason is a person might think, right, that you can do shchika samamanim. They would only think so when they know that what you're doing is literafua. And being that even healthy people will wash themselves with the waters of the Yam HaMelech, it's not dafke don l'refuah. That's the word. The lav muchacham l'refuah of it. So even though here you're tackle washing your eyes because you want to heal your eyes, you are allowed to do it. So then he asked another question. There's one thing washing in the waters. I'm washing and some of the waters will enter my eyes, but I'm bathing. I'm not doing a therapeutical act. However, can I close my eyes under the water and quickly open it? Ooh, that's mamash stronger. Then you'll get even more healed. And that's something, who does that? Only people that have to heal their eyes. That is muchacha ki'ilo dat l'refuah of it. So can I do that? So Amalei, so Rabbi Yirmiyah answered, Zulei Shamati. I never heard explicitly whether you may do this or not. However, kayoytze b'shamati, I heard something similar. Before we go on, let's read inside the Rashi. Rashi puts it all together. Kayoytze b'shamati, that what the heicha, zok Rashi, the muchacha milsa del refuah avid, wherever it is obvious that what you're doing is specifically for therapeutical purposes, asur. And therefore, umeimatz umiftach, going under the Yam HaMelech and opening your eyes for a moment and closing it. And that, says Rashi, muchach hamilsa, it's clear. And now we link, that's why Rav Dimi came and he said that I never saw a person drowning in the Yam HaMelech. What did he mean to say by that? As we just learned in the Tanach, that 2/3 salt and 1/3 water is needed. In other words, for the egg to float on top. Since the Yam HaMelech is so salty that no one ever drowned in it, what he meant to say is that these waters have a gewaldige therapeutical power. So Mela just bathing, lav muchach hamilsa. Maybe you stop bathing in the waters. But if you're going to open your eyes under the waters, that's already clear you're doing it for a little for. And therefore, it's going to be asr midrabanan because of Gezerah Shchikas HaMamanim. And here, not that I'm going to do Shchikas HaMamanim, that an observer is going to see me engaging in therapeutical practices. They will think that B'chlal you can engage in therapeutical practices on Shabbos, and they might end up grinding herbs, which is toichen. Okay.
So what are you actually allowed to do?
Zinin, the following statement was sometimes said by Rab Zera in the name of Rav Masna, and sometimes Rab Zera said the following statement in the name of Mar Ukva because he heard it from both, and they themselves, this says Rav Masna and Mar Ukva, the Tarvayu Mishmei, they made two statements, one in the name of the father of Shmuel and the other in the name of Levi. Okay, now we don't know which following statement was said by the father of Shmuel and which one by Levi, but what are these two statements? Chad Omar, right? That what yayin b'toicha ayin asur, that if you're putting wine in your eye, it's prohibited. Putting wine inside the eye has a curative, has a therapeutical purpose. It's getting from good to better. At least it's not going to do to you today what the Yam HaMelech will do to you. But now at least you understand, my friends, that after Havdalah, there's a minute to put the wine over your eyes. It's all coming from here. And Taka, we learned that in Brachas, I think, right? That a person loses a certain amount of eyesight. And when they make, there we learned, when they make Kiddush and Havdalah, they get it back. If you remember in Brachas. And then we spoke out that that's the source of the minig of putting some of the wine in your eyes. So Yayin b'toich ayin is asur, because whatever you're doing that's clearly l'refua is asur. But putting wine al gaba ha'ayin, if you just pass it over the eyes, this is taka what we do by Motzei Shabbos. We don't put it in the eye, we put it over the eye. That's not clearly curative. Why not? Because it could be you're washing your eye. Yeah, Russia makes sense. You're washing your eye with wine. The fact that some of the wine will get into your eye, and taka, when wine goes into your eye, it heals your eyes. It's not mucha chamilsa. So it's shadi. Chad Omar, and another one made a statement that roik tafel, raw saliva is saliva from a person who's fasting. Remember that in Nida, it's a detergent that also heals your eyes. Not only may you not put it in your eye, but roik tafel also you cannot even put it on top of your eye. Why? Because roik tafel is disgusting, and the only reason why a person were to put it even over their eyes is for therapeutical reasons. If the person would not need it for medicine, they would never do it. So it's mucha chamilsa the l'refua, and that's the word. Any activity, the mucha chamilsa, it's clear to the observer that I'm doing it l'refua. I may not do, not to give the observer the impression that you can take medicines on Shabbos if you're not a chayla. Now, by the way, we paskin that if you are a chayla, even a chayla she'ein by sakana, you are already allowed to take medication on Shabbos. But chayla she'ein by sakana means that your life is not in danger, but the way we paskin, you feel so ill that you are bedbound. You have such a headache that if you're not going to take the Advil, you're going to go lay down. That's when you can take it. Okay? Here we're speaking about a person that's not even on that level. So they are bound by the Isur Darabanan, and we're learning this nuance, whether it's Mucha Chamalsa or not, and that's the Yam HaMelech. Washing, going swimming, going into the Yam HaMelech is not Mucha Chamalsa l'refua. Opening your eyes under the water, you would only do it if you need to have that therapy. Says the Gemara, we don't know who said which one. Tesnayim da Abu de Shmuel hu da Amar Yain b'toicha ayin yasur and al gaba yain is mutter. Why? Because me the Amar Shmuel himself said that shoyra adam pita yain, a person can soak his bread and wine, the nois neal gabo ayin b'Shabbos and place it over his eyes on Shabbos. In other words, he's using the bread as a compass, right? And one might think he's washing himself. He's not putting So Zechariah, that's similar to what of one of these statements said, that al gaba ha'ayin, putting it on top of the eyes is permitted. It's only in the eyes that it's prohibited. Who do you think Shmuel heard it from? Shemiah le'miman, lav the Shemiah le'mavua. So this is mamash linked to the yayin b'toich ha'ayin asur, al gaba yayin mutter. So the Gemara counters, no, why do you say so? All the time, Shmuel also said this concept of roik kafel, even putting it above the eye, and the eyelid is also asur, because it's clear you don't get letter 4. So who do you think he heard it from? Do you think that everything that Shmuel said is because he heard it from his father? If that would be the case, then both these statements came from Avua the Shmuel. So Ella, Levi, Amar. So both of these statements came from Avua the Shmuel. So Levi said nothing. Not everything that Shmuel said came from his father. Shmuel also heard things from his Chaver Levi. So again, we don't know which one said what. And we don't know Hi Mavua and Hi Mi Levi. And now let's continue learning about the Yayin is a remedy for your eyes. We're learning about the Roy Katafel is a remedy for the eyes. We're learning about the Yam HaMelech waters is a remedy for your eyes. Open up your eyes under the water. So Amar Marukor Amar Shmuel, Shoira Adam Kiloiden Erev Shabbos, right? Collyrium, this type of paste that they used to use in the times of Chazal. We're not speaking about makeup, but we're speaking about the type of paste. We learned that above in the Masechta that had a therapeutical power. So you are allowed to prepare it from before Shabbos. So you're not doing it on Shabbos. And once you already prepared it, you can put it on or over your eyes on Shabbos. Why? Because it looks like you are washing your eyes. It doesn't look like you're doing it only le refuah. So you prepared it, you prepared it from before Shabbos. That means even though you are doing it le refuah, there's no isur on you because you're dafka preparing it from before Shabbos. You're not going to forget and think you can prepare medication on Shabbos. The observer, it's like you're washing out your eyes with, you're putting wine on near your eyes. You're putting this collyrium near your eyes. No, that's okay. And he saw not only him using collyrium, like Shmuel taught, by putting it around your eyes, but he actually saw him putting the collyrium inside the eyes. Ooh, that's already prohibited. So Amalei, so Marukva tells him, again, this nafkamina. Shmuel allowed you to put collyrium around the eyes because it's not the muchach de l'refuah. People, by the way, used to put stuff for makeup. We're not going into the makeup issue. But when you're putting it in your eyes, again, even though you prepared it from before Shabbos, you know you can't prepare medication on Shabbos, fine. But the observer will think that you can use medication on Shabbos. The observer will do it. He might end up grinding herbs to make medications on Shabbos. Says the Gemara Shalach le Rabbi Yani Lamaruk. Please, Marukva, you are Chaverim, you are Chaver with Shmuel. Marukva was the Av Bezdin. They worked together with Shmuel. And Shmuel was the big doctor. And Shmuel made his collyrium was like the greatest, had the greatest potency. Please send us from the collyrium of Shmuel. So Shalach Lei, so Marukva sent back to Rabbi Yanai. Here's the chaim. I'm going to give you the medication. Don't think that I'm cheap. Shadurim Mishadan Allah. I don't want you to say that Sad Ayin Ano. I'm stingy. Ella, I want you to know that even though Shmuel made the best collyrium, it's not needed. Ella Hachi Amar Shmuel. Shmuel himself said that Toiva Tipas Tsoinen Shachris, that a drop of cold water in your eyes. Today, most people, when they wake up, they wash their faces. So putting in some cold water in your eyes and the custom of washing your yadayim v'raglayim becham and arvis, washing your hands and feet in warm waters at the evening. Today we know about washing the hands, how important it is for health. Is better. Toiva mikol kilodim shava'ilam. It's better than all of the collyriums in the world. So really, I understand. Preventative medicine is the best medication. This collyrium that Shmuel prepared was once a person had eye ailments, so he uses medicine, and I'll send it to you. But obey his practices. washing your face, washing your eyes in the morning, cleaning your hands at night. I understand that cleaning the hands and the feet at night because dafka yadayim askani is saying. Today we know how much bacteria is on your hands. And when you wash it before you go to sleep, so even though during the sleep your hands are all over the place, your hands will touch your eyes, your hands were washed. And if you do that, you'll never need a scalarium. And indeed, Tanya Nami Hachi, now we'll begin quoting practices that were taught us by the Tanach Rabbi Mana, Amar Rab Moina, in the name of Rabbi Yehuda, Toiva, Tipas, Soinen Shachris, and Urechitzes Lamerlaim Arvis, that behavior is preventative medication. Your eyes will never get ill. And that's better. How great is that? Now that we quoted Rabbi Moina, continues the Gemara, right, we're quoting all the Braisa, a hand that is put to the eye, the hand should be cut off. What are we talking about? So even though before we were learning about health, Begashmi is the help. Zok the Rashi, 2 lines before the bottom of the Amid, Yod La'ayin. If you touch your eyes, says Rashi, Shachris Koidim Sheyitel Yodov. So there is a Ruach Ra'a that we call Bas Melech. You know what we call that Ruach Bas Melech? Bas Melech means that, just like a noble woman goes around with tremendous confidence, right? A free man, a princess. This Ruach Ra'a is so powerful, it's not intimidated by anything. It walks around like a princess. Now, if you wash your hands, Kehel Chasa, that takes it away. But until you do that, that Ruach Ra is so dangerous that if you touch your eyes, even though you wash your hands at night, you can use all the collyriums in the world. This is a ruchniistic problem. Your eyes can get sick. And therefore, if you touch your hand, such a hand should be cut off. Likewise, Yad L'chaitam. If your hands before you wash Negel Vasa touches your nose, then the hand should be cut off. What's any orifice that's open in the body is very susceptible to the Bas Melech Ruach Ra'ah. Yad lapeh, the hand to the mouth should be cut off. Yad la'oizen tikatzitz, your ear knows, you see every opening. Yad la'chasuda, and then it was common that people would bloodlet. Today they would donate blood. So when you donate blood, you have a little perforation. Those perforations, until they heal, is called an opening to the body. If your hand touches that, it's going to bring the Ruach Ra into the body, so such a hand should be cut off. Yad la'ama tikatzitz, a hand that touches the male member should be cut off. Here, we're going already me'inyan le'inyan. First of all, it's also a hemshech of Ruach Ra. But don't forget what we learned in Nidam and what we learned in Brachas, right? That if a man, because of the Zerah Levatala, and the Mabul came into the world because of Zerah Levatala, that a man is not allowed to touch his male organ because he's going to warm it up. So that's even after Negel Vaser, Yod La'amati Kotzeitz, and Yod Lepita Basti Kotzeitz, according to Rashi, the last Rashi in the Amid, again, it's not about Negel Vaser. The piyama is pashut, being that the waste comes out from the piyama. There is some residue of waste there, of human waste, and that is very unhealthy. If a person touches his piyama, later, says Rashi, he might touch his eye, he might touch his ear before he properly washes his hands, and that brings about physical sicknesses. It's amazing, huh? They say no, corona is very much connected to all this. So, and this goes back already. See, we're going we're going from a Ruach Ra'ah, which is something ruchniistic, to Pasha to the Gashmias of washing your hands or not touching a part of your body that's very dirty. And weiter, Daf finally, Daf Kuf Tes, Yod Legigis, if your hand touches a barrel of beer, says Rashi. And according to most of Rishonim, it's not dafka beer. If your hand touches any drink or any food before you wash Negel Vasen, the Ruach Ra goes into that food. And then if you drink or eat that food, God forbid, you can become very ill. So at kedekach, you're doing such an avla. That's the powerful statement. Such a hand should be cut off. Don't cut off the hand. Wash Negel Vasen. Yod, why? Because Yod Mesame, a hand with the Ruach Ra will cause blindness. Yod Machareshes, a hand that causes the ear will cause deafness. Yod Ma'alapi, Poilipois, if the hand touches the mouth, it's going to create in the mouth and in the nostrils a horrible odor, bad breath. So we learned before, right, earlier on, that if a person eats, remember, if you eat without going to the bathroom, that's one of the causes of bad breath. Another reason for bad breath is touching your mouth or your nose before you wash Negel Vasen. Tanya says the Gemara, Rabbi Nassan Oimer, that this, again, this Ruach Ra is called Bas Melech. And here he's calling it Bas Choyren Hizu, that this Ruach has, there's a certain power of a confident person, have a koyach. And the ruchais are the same. So you have azelche ruchais with bad self-esteem. So they're very weak. They can be intimidated. But this ruach ra of Bas Melech is a free agent. And it will not leave one's hands umakpedes at sheyir chatziyadav shalosh pa'amim. And we learned that whole machloikas tanoim until where you have to wash your hands. Remember that? Is it until where the knuckles touch the hand? Is it until the wrist? And that was Benegea to that. Benegea to until you're dying before you have bread. Benegea to Kahanim and the Beis Hamikdash. We learned that whole machloikas tanoi. We paskin that you have to wash your hands all the way to the wrist. And what's very important is dafke by negelvasser to alternate the washing, beginning with your stronger hand. If you're a righty with the right, and if you're a lefty with your left hand. Now back. What's going to happen if a person touched their eyes without washing negelvasser and the ruach ra made their eyes ill? So what do you do? So we learned about how collyrium, and we don't know exactly how they made it. Shmuel was the master. That is a refuah. Now we're going to learn another refuah. That Amar Rabbi Yechanan, puch. Puch is what the women call today masakra, right? Or mascara. Danny woke up. Very good. Mascara. It's amazing. All of these things that people put on their eyes, at least by us, the women put around their eyes, originated from therapeutical treatments. That puch is a good remedy that even if the Bas Melech entered the eyes, Maver Bas Melech. And the Paisik Asadima, it stops overly tearing, and it adds hair to the eyelid. The eyelid, the hair extender. Weiter. Rabbi Yossi Omer, puch is such a good remedy that it's even Maver Bas Melech, and indeed Upaisik Asadima and Umar B'Seir Ba'afapayim, right? It promotes eyelash growth, eyelid growth. Amar Maruka Bar Shmuel, Olin. I want you to know now Olin either means eating certain leaves. Other Rishonim say Olin means putting leaves on top of your eyes. Ein b'hem mishum refuah. It has no therapeutical value, right? So they're selling all these products, put a cucumber on your eyes, and there's nothing, and therefore you are allowed to do it on Shabbos. That's a good thing. Because if you are engaging in a therapy that's a teikfar garnished, then it's not also to do on Shabbos. Amar Rabbi Yosef, I want you to know that kuzbarta, that coriander ain't ba mishum refuah. We're all speaking about remedies for eyes. It's interesting, my friends, that Rabbi Yosef was a sagi nor, as was Rav Sheshes, right? And therefore he knew what helps the eyes, what doesn't help the eyes. He's saying that coriander has no healing effect, and Amar Rav Sheshes tishus hops. Hops is very good maybe to make beer, but it has no healing effect on their eyes. Ubemela, using them on Shabbos is not a problem. Amar Rabbi Yosef, back to Rabbi Yosef, that kusbarta afilu lididi kashali. Not only does it not have any therapeutical benefits, but it hurts. Now you would think it hurts someone whose vision is perfect, it diminishes their vision. I'm already blind. Even for me it hurts. Amar Rav Sheshes, same concept that gargina is a certain type of plant, that the gargina plant, afilu lididi, even for me is beneficial. It doesn't mean that when I either eat it or put it on my eyes, I see, but I see a little bit better. It's more however bad as his vision was, it got a little bit better. So so there are certain items that are very beneficial. There are certain items that are completely worthless. For all types of hops, right? Rav Sheshes says kshus. If all of them, he says, are allowed, are allowed means you can use them on Shabbos because they're not going to heal you, aside of a certain type of hop that's called miteruza. Miteruza is not allowed to be used. Now here we have already Rashi says another detail. Rashi holds that Shmuel is holding that hops have a therapeutical purpose, but it's not used only by people who have to heal their eyes. So that's going back to washing in the Yam HaMelech, not putting the water in your eyes. Since other people have it, even when they're healthy, so even though you want to do it for your eyes, and Shmuel holds that it does benefit your eyes, that's the word here, you are allowed to take kishus aside of truza. Truza is a hop that's so bitter or so disgusting that only people who need it for therapeutical purposes will eat it. And therefore, that's something that you may not do.
So this goes the same to vitamins?
We'll speak about vitamins tomorrow. Let's go, because really we're going to start a Mishnah. We'll get the whole sugya. We're just opening it up. Shirika Tavya Shari. Shirika Tavya, and we're going to Ingil Shitas Rashi, where Rashi says that when you have a roast, you have food, when guys, we're not allowed to warm up. It's warm from before Shabbos. But as Shabbos comes in, you're going to smear it. You're going to put on it a little bit of oil. You're going to put on it a little bit of eggs. And what's the issue here? So now we're going back to the beginning of the sugya. Remember, we spoke about what would be the problem of salting food. So it was about iburoides. Now we're learning about the derabanan of you're being misaking something. You're fixing something. So he held that smearing a roast with this oil and egg is not a problem. It's not a problem of tikkun. However, pi'ipuye, beating eggs on Shabbos, that is already forbidden. Now again, we're learning l'chu'ura, the forbidden. Look inside Rashi, asur, by beating up eggs. The meschaze kaman the boi lemishdinu b'kedera. It looks like you're going to be cooking food. Looks like. Okay. That's connected here to, it looks like you're taking a therapy. Says the Gemara, the Visud is the Iri of the Loyal Rabbi Barashi, that she, right, we're speaking about the Shirika, that she smeared a roast for Rabbi Barashi when on Shabbos, and he was there a guest, and he didn't eat it. So Amrullah, so she tells Chia Barashi was a Talmud of her husband. Her husband was Zaidi. I make here in this house, I smear a roast on Shabbos, right? It's loy mischazik misaken, and he eats it. And ba'at loy ochalt, you're not eating it. This is a Talmud. So he responded. Chia Barashi responded. Zaidi l'taimid omer Zaidi. Meisan adam yain salul amayim salulim. L'toicham ishmerish b'Shabbos. A person is allowed to put clear wine or clear water into a strainer. What's the issue over here? What's the issue? Straining, it's not, we're not talking about looking like bishul, it looks like you're doing boited. Can you strain, can you filter water that's drinkable? So Zaidi holds you're allowed to do it, even though the straining it makes it even more pure. It's not a problem. Almagi holds kiven the mishtati hachi, since the wine or the water is already good enough to be drunk. So even though you are adding to the straining, we say lav mida ka'avid, what you're doing has no halachic significance. So hachinami here also, my Rebbe holds kiven dimis achalachi, since the roast could be eaten without this final touch, lav mida ka'avid, it has no halachic significance. But I disagree with Zaidi. I hold that if you have waters, even if they are already good, but you cannot further strain them, because it looks like you're doing boider, I hold that even though the roast could be eaten without this fine finishing touch, doing this final touch is dami lemisaking. Now, my friends, we paskin like Zaidi. This is very important, and that's why if you have by yourself in the kitchen a filter of water, you can turn it on Shabbos. You're filtering the water. Right, filtering is one of the avos, and the answer is because since we sometimes, if you wouldn't have a filter, I would drink tap water. So that's an ayah that even though it's making it even clearer, even better, it's not cold boited, and it's not even asan midrabanan. And if you remember when they started to make a big campaign once in New York, they might have found bugs in the water. And they were saying that you have to filter the water. So right away, all the poskim said that if you're going to accept that even something that's not visible to the naked eye, which are the bugs in the water, if they are halachic bugs, then you can never filter water on Shabbos. They just made that link. In other words, if you have to do it, then you're not allowed to do it on Shabbos. Something that you can drink without filtering, you are allowed to. By the way, we allow, I'm not speaking about using a electricity, but my kitchen, there's one of the knobs, it's water that's going through a filter. There's no problem filtering because of this approach of Zaidi. Going back to medication. If a person's hand or foot got knacked and it's getting swollen, and you are afraid that it's going to get infected. So you are allowed to reduce the swelling by soaking it in wine. And why shiur? Not because it doesn't look like you're treating yourself, because it's not effective. Since it's not effective, wine, you can do it. Vinegar is stronger. So Amar Ravashi that ki avin and beiraf kahani amrei chalaloi, soaking your hand or your foot in vinegar is not permitted because it does heal you. And again, the issue of shchikas samemanim. Amar Rava v'hani b'nei mechayis. Even the mefanki, the very mefonakim, they're not working people. They don't work with their hands, and therefore their skin is like our hands. Skin is very soft. Skin is very sensitive. If you soak your hands in wine, if you're thick, if your skin is not thick, the wine will penetrate. Afilu chamra, chamra here means wine. Nami masiluhu, and therefore, if you have a wound, b'nei mechayis may not soak their hands in wine on Shabbos. Ravina ikla levei Ravashi. And he saw that the drichol lechamara al gaba de kare, he saw a chamoir stepped on the foot of Ravashi, and right away, in order to prevent it from becoming too inflamed, the Yosef Kotsamis le bechal Ravashi was soaking his foot in vinegar on Shabbos. So Amalei, so Ravina tells him, that chaloloi. So Amalei upa. There's a big difference between what side of the hand or foot got wounded. Gav hayad, the top of the hand, my friend, is here. Not the palm, but the opposite of the palm. The gav haregel is the top of your foot. There, if you get a wound, if it gets inflamed, it can be life-threatening. And don't forget, the whole issue of remedies is a derabanan. Like we mentioned, we paskin, even if it's a chayla she'ein boy sakana, you can take these remedies. And avada, if a person has something that if it's not dealt with now, it might lead to an infection. An infection is already life-threatening. Another version, Ravina saw Ravashi soaking his foot in wine. Now we learned before that wine is not effective. That people that are not working people, and therefore their skin is still delicate. And wine penetrates through delicate skin. Even the mefanke afilu chamra nami masilu umar and Rebbe Yuravashi nami mefanik. In other words, yeah, the feet. Mefanik here would mean the feet for sure. Then with the sandals, it would get very dirty. People that didn't work out that much, their feet were like our feet. They were clean. They were sensitive. Amalei, you're right. However, again, gavayad the gavanegel shiny. Damaravad the barmas namarav gavayad the gavanegel hareim kemaka shel chalo. It's so dangerous that it's like a internal wound. That's the worst wounds. Since it could lead to a life-threatening illness, and for sure, you can violate a derabanan of soaking. Here in his case, according to this version, he was soaking his feet in wine.
Rabbi, is there any difference between the two versions?
Gerard is a body of water. It's mentioned in Parshas Noach. It's salty waters. You are allowed to bathe in the Gerard waters. You are allowed to bathe in Mei Chamson. You are allowed to bathe in Mei Asya. Now, let's not forget that at a certain point, bathing in hot waters became asur. This braisa obviously was said before the takana. In cold waters, they didn't asur. We spoke about the sugya. Our minhag is not to bathe in cold waters. Our minhag, but there's no isur. Hot waters, it became asur. Before they made that takana, you can even bathe in the Mei Teveria. Okay, and why is that? What would be the issue? Because since healthy people also bathe in those waters, it doesn't look, it's not mucha chamilsa that they'll refuah. Avol yoy be yam hagadol, but not in the yam hagadol. Now yam hagadol is either going to refer to the Mediterranean Sea. Yam hagadol is really going to refer to any body of water that goes around the continent. All right, that's the yam hagadol. And to contrast with any inland water like Teveria, that doesn't go around the continent, it's within a continent. So you cannot bathe in the Yam HaGadol, and we'll see in a moment why l'chura, because it's saltier, And because of that, who bathes in there? You only go in there if your body needs the salt. You only go in there if you need the refuah. So it's mischaze, it's evident, the mucha chanos of the refuah. You likewise may not bathe b'mei mishra, waters that were used to soaking flax, they are repugnant. And again, it's like roi katofel. Why would you bathe in such waters? Because they have a certain therapeutical power. But only if you need the healing from it would you bathe in it. So here again, if you are going to go in it, it's clear that you're doing it for therapeutical purposes. That's taka what's asur, nor the yama shal sudaim. Okay, so guys, we're going to call this brisa number 1. We get Mei Mishra. It's taka disgusting. You'll only bathe in it l'refuah. Yama Melach, we're going now, this brisa, it's so salty, you don't bathe, you only bathe in it if you need the nutrients, if you need it l'refuah. And this brisa includes Yam HaGadol. We have another brisa. The brisa says that Roichatz in the Meiteveria. Ubi Yam HaGadol. So there's a stira, Kasha, Yam HaGadol, Yam HaGadol. May you not. So Amar Rabbi Yochanan, a very innovative answer, like Kasha. And we're going to jump to Hilchas Mikvais by saying that Rabbi Meir, as we'll see in a moment, this refers to the second brisa that asers, that matters, and Rabbi Yehuda, the first brisa that says that it's asur b'yam hagadol, is following Rabbi Yehuda. And as the Gemara will explain, Vitnan. Now, we spoke in the intro, you have mikvah waters and you have mayon waters. One nafkamina will be that if you have rainwaters that are gathered, they're only effective if they are ashboiden, if they're gathered. If they're zoichalin, if they're moving, then they're not good. Okay, so let's focus on that. Then we'll focus on another word called mayim chayim. Now, says the Mishnah, Kol hayamim, seas don't have a status of mayon. Seas are taka kosher, but they have a status of a mikveh. And therefore, they have to be ashboiden. Therefore, they're not called mayon. Now, we are beginning with the assumption, and that's true according to 2 of the 3 Tanoim, that mayim chayim is mayon. Mikveh is not mayim chayim. So whenever the Torah speaks lo mashal, I'll just speak about Azav. Azav has to go into a mayim chayim. It means Azav cannot go to a mikveh. He won't become tahor. He has to go into a mayim. And a yam is a mikveh. How do we know that all of the seas, all of them? Now Rabbi Meir does not differentiate between inland bodies of water or big oceans that surround continents. They're all mikveh. Because since it says in the creation of the world, mikveh hamayim kara yamim, and the Torah uses the words mikveh, gathering. So therefore, any taka, any yam is called a mikveh. Divrei Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Yehuda says, I will differentiate between the Yam HaGadol, between waters that go around continents versus waters that are inside continents. Yam HaGadol is taka mikveh. And indeed, you bring a raya from the pasuk in creation. I'm going with your raya. Why does it say in the Chumash that God called lemikveh hamayim yamim? Yamim is lashon abim. Was there something unique there? The waters that go around continents, what feeds many different bodies of water feed it. Taka, that's why it's yamim, many waters. But the Meiteveria, for example, or any other lake or body of water that's in a continent is not necessarily fed from different sources, so it's taka not called yamim. If it's not called yamim, then you can't call it a mikveh. So that's gaval. Okay. In other words, Rabbi Yehuda is saying that bodies of water that are inland are not mikveh, and therefore what? Even if they're zoichalin, they're effective. And therefore what? They're called mayim chayim. They're called, according to Rabbi Yehuda, a zav can go into the Tiberia and become tar. Rabbi Yossi is the third Tana. Rabbi Yossi argues with Rabbi Yehuda. He doesn't agree that we make a difference between the Yam HaGadol and inland waters. He doesn't agree to that. He agrees with Rabbi Meir that they're all the same. However, even though they're all the same, and they are all therefore called mikveh, but they're only called mikveh to emphasize that they're not mayim chayim. But they're not like a mikvah, because even oceans called hayamim are mekarim b'zoichalin. Even if the waters are zoichalin, they're moving, they are in motion, they're going to be good. The Torah calls them mikveh. So this is the word that Rabbi Yossi adds another nuance. You can have something that's called mayon. According to Rabbi Yossi, all of the seas are called mayon for the halachas of zoichalin. Elama, none of them are called mayim chayim. Upsulam lezavim, ulam etzayroyim, ulakadosh ve'meichatas, which are the three areas in halacha for which you need to have dafka mayim chayim. For that, they're not mayim chayim. Okay, so what do we have over here, my friends? We have the following. We have the Tana Rabbi Yossi that actually holds that the Yam HaGadol is called a mayon. Mayon meaning it's metayr b'zoichalin, but it's not mayim chayim. But Rav Meir holds no. Rav Meir holds that all the waters have to be ashvoidim. Not only are they not mayim chayim, but all the waters are the same. The Tanach of Yehuda holds there's a difference between the Yam HaGadol and the inland waters. The Yam HaGadol has to be ashvoidim. The inland waters could be even zoichel and avadin of a mayon. And why? That's Rabbi Yechanan. Why is it not a mayon? So guys, this is a very important rule. That, don't forget, according to Rabbi Yehuda, if it's a mayon, it's mayim chayim. Rabbi Yossi separates. The rule is mayim chayim cannot be salty. Mayim chayim is not called mayim chayim if it's salty. So it must be, says Rabbi Yechanan, why does the Tanach Rabbi Yehuda differentiate between the Yam HaGadol and the inland waters? Because he holds that the Yam HaGadol is very salty. De facto, it's saltier than the inland waters, but we're speaking halachically, it's very salty. So since it's very salty, it can be a mayon, can be mayim chayim. If it can be mayim chayim, according to Rabbi Yehuda, that means it's not a mayon, it's called a mikvah. If it's a mikvah, it's only going to function if it is ashvoidim. The inland waters are not that salty. If they're not that salty, they could be mayim chayim. And if they could be a mayim chayim, then according to Rabbi Yehuda, indeed, he holds they have a din of a mayon. According to Rabbi Yehuda, we separate the Yam HaGadol from inland waters. The Yam HaGadol is saltier. Now let's apply this to Shabbos. What's the issue here with bathing? We're speaking about the sugya that I cannot do something that is mucha chamilsa d'l'rafur. People don't bathe in very salty waters. People bathe in not such salty waters. According to Rabbi Yehuda, that's the first brayso that says that you may not bathe in the Yam HaGadol on Shabbos because it's mucha chamilsa d'l'rafur, because it's very salty. Inland waters that are not that salty, people can bathe. Some healthy people can bathe there. So therefore, I'm allowed to do it on Shabbos. The second brayso follows Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir makes no such difference. Now, according to Rabbi Meir, and therefore Rabbi Meir, none of them are salty. If none of them are salty, then why would the Yam HaGadol not be allowed to be called mayim chayim? Akash, psukim, limudim. Not because of the saltiness, but since it's not salty, according to Rav Meir, you can bathe not only in Mei Teveria, you can bathe even in the Yam HaGadol. Gewaldig. So says Rabbi Yechanan. Maskiv Lord of Nachman by Yitzchak. Finally, Chavod Daf Kuf Tesam and Beis. Eminot, I completely disagree with your association. Yes, there is a three-way machloikis. We're focusing not on Rabbi Yossi, but yes, on Rav Meir and Rabbi Yehuda regarding the laws of Tum and Tara. Don't forget, according to Rav Meir, right, that seawater is not mayim chayim, not because of salt. It's nothing to do with this concept of salt. And it has to do with psukim. So Rabbi Yehuda, it's also, it's verse related. Le'inyan Shabbos mishamat lahu. Okay. So now we're back now to the stira. So if it's not Rabbi Yehuda and Rav Meir, how do you reconcile the first brayso that says you may not bathe in the Yam HaGadol, the second brayso that says you may bathe in the Yam HaGadol? Right? The first brayso that says you cannot bathe in the Yam HaGadol is when the ishtohi, when you plan to sit in the waters for a long time. If you would only do it to cool off, if you would only do it to wash yourself off, you would not hang out in the waters for a long time. When you linger on, that shows that you're doing it for therapeutical purposes. That's asur. The second brayso that allows you to do it is the lo yishtoi. So you're only going there to clean yourself. That's something that's permitted. Says the Gemara, "B'mayu kim to lebasraiso," which allows you to do it. The lo yishtoi, who have a kasha now. Either lo yishtoi. The second rice is that you're not lingering. I feel then you should be allowed even to go into waters that were previously used to soak flax. The fakir to hatanya roichatzim b'meiteveria ubemei mishra, another brayso. Ubeyama shol sedaim roichatzim afal pi sheyesh loichatatim b'roishay. And you see this person has skin ailments, so you would think, well, you're doing it l'refuah. You are allowed to do it. Now we're speaking about a person, lamashal, it's summer and it's brennen dikat. You have to go into cold waters. And you're allowed to go into even these waters. And the Braisa Taka says, when you're not planning to hang out there. So now we're back kash on the second Braisa. If the second Braisa is that you're not there for a long time, then why can't you enter me? Mishnah, Ella, the Gemara says, Yama Godol kashe. Why? Because it's not about the long time or not. Habi Yafin Shabai. Yaf means the second Braisa is when the waters, in the Yama Gadol, today there's so many laws of sewage, you can't just put it into the ocean. They didn't have these halachas then. So if the waters are clear, then you are allowed to bathe in there. Because if it's clear, then people that are healthy will bathe in it. When does the Braisa prohibit? When you are entering Roin Shabbat. If the waters that you are entering are dirty, then the only reason why you are entering is for therapeutical purposes. And then it's going to be Asr. And now this second answer is not denying the nafkamina that we had before. Regarding the third Braisa that Asr, or that was Matir, Mishra, Kasha, so very good. That was like this. When you are entering waters for a quick amount of time, this is the Nakuda, then you can enter foul waters. When you are entering waters for quick, you can enter Mishra, because it doesn't heal you if you go in and out. Why are you going in and out? Either you're very hot, or there was some real dirt, even dirtier than Mishra, you want to wash it off. The moment you're going to be hanging out longer in waters, now you have another nuance. Even if you're going to hang out a long time in the Yama Gadol, if it's Mayim Yafim, then it's not Lucha Chamilsa de L'Refuah. But if you're hanging out in the Yama Gadol for a long amount of time, but it's B'mayim Roim, why are you there? It must be you're there because you want to heal yourself. And next Mishnah, God willing, is mamish a lot more of remedies. We're going to start learning from physical remedies to metaphysical remedies, as we have a few times. In Mirza Hashem, to be continued.
Are we going to start a few minutes earlier tomorrow?
I'll tell you what, Daf Kuf Yud is much smaller. Daf Kuf Yud is finally a relatively small daf. Maybe you have to read it quicker, it's fascinating.
Rabbi, regarding Rabbi Yirmiyah, he allowed his student to go into the Yam HaMelach. Was that before the Tikkun Merchatzos or after?
Okay, so very good, Tzvika. Make it clear. The Tikkun Merchatzos that we learned about was Dafka Hat. Dafka Hat. And the problem of Hat was the waters of Tiveria. Just to make, I'm sorry. Tzvika, Yamo Shel Tiveria here means the Kinneret. Not confuse it. Chamei Tiveria is a isur of heat. Now this Braisa did not differentiate, so this Braisa is before the Takon. But we're not learning about going into hot waters. We're learning about going into cold waters. And going into cold waters, which is something that our minig is not to do, was never asert. Here we're speaking about why would it be asert, that if the reason why you're going in there is to heal yourself, so that's if it's mucha chamilsa de l'refuah, it's asert. If healthy people will also go into these waters, then it's not asert.
Rabbi.
Yes.
So Rabbi Yirmiyah didn't think that, Rabbi Yirmiyah didn't hold it as just for refuah, Yam HaMelach, meaning he can go just bathe in those waters.
No one allowed Yam HaMelach in our sugya. The question was Yam HaGadol. No one here allowed the, you're talking about before. Yeah,
yes.
Correct. The beginning of today's daf, correct. He held that only opening your eyes under the water is asr, correct. No, I think there's washing with the Yam HaMelach that's allowed. That's probably what's allowed. I think entering the Yam HaMelach is not allowed. What we began today in Daf Kuf Chesam days, I think, was washing. It means you're picking up water and you're washing your face. That's the loy mucha chamilsa. But if you're going to open your eyes in the water, that's mucha chamilsa de l'refuah. very interesting that they open their eyes under the waters l'refuah, Yam HaMelech.
So there's no tikkun merchatzos in cold water. No tikkun merchatzos.
The end of Masechta Shabbos will conclude with an Amoid of bathing on Shabbos in cold water.
Rabbi Bar Ravuna.
So our minig is not to do it, but
Rabbi Bar Ravuna did it.
but al pi halacha you are allowed to do it.
Rabbi,
Must be very painful to open your eyes under the Yam HaMelech.
You're telling me there are warnings that they have over there that they're not liable.
Rabbi, isn't there an issur of going into like a body of water because you're afraid of building a raft? So how could you go into the Yam HaGadol?
No. That's swimming and then going in. It's different. Very big difference. Swimming.
Got it, okay.
Swimming is awesome.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay.